My relationship with the nighttime.
I think that my relationship to nighttime is that I definitely feel more unsafe, but is when I feel the most productive. So I am definitely always going out, but at the same time, just keep in mind that I need to be more aware of my surroundings than actually during daylight.
I know like walking could be a little uneasy because some of the streets could be a little dark with not enough lamp posts. And biking, I also feel a little uncomfortable doing because it's very dark and sometimes you can't even see the road or like who's around.
So, one of the things that makes me feel unsafe at night is probably my phone being close to dying, honestly, because everything else is like, I'm totally fine with like walking around by myself. I'll have my headphones blasting. So, I mean, if I'm gonna get kidnapped, I'm gonna get kidnapped, you know?
Walking back, I had to walk through sort of a foresty path in darkness, and that definitely, you know, definitely creeped me out a little bit. And I'd always be like, I need to walk fast till I get to my neighborhood and see a street light, and I'll feel a little bit better. But also, my street lights also were kind of crappy, and like some of them turned down, some of them didn't. So a lot of the times I play music out loud to distract myself. At UC Davis, it's been nice. I know they had a big lighting initiative like pretty recently. I think that's definitely made me feel a lot more
I identify as a woman, so like I think that we live in a society where like sometimes at nighttime you don't necessarily feel the safest. So when I'm usually like alone at night, it all depends on the environment I'm surrounded by. Like if it's like completely quiet, like sometimes I'm like always like, oh my god, like what if someone like, grabs me, snatches me? Like you just have these super intrusive thoughts, and I think like it just comes with like you're just like terrified just because of like things you've heard, things you've experienced, like media. It's just like you have those biases in your mind regardless just because of like the exposure that you've had to like what's going on in society at that moment. So I think that like some things that make me feel like more safe, like especially at nighttime, is that if I'm like surrounded by like people in the sense where like even though may not necessarily know them, just knowing that this like area is like well populated, like that there are people around me that are having like a good time and it doesn't like feel kind of sketchy, that's usually when I feel most comfortable. Also like for me, like I'm a super religious person. So like for me, like when I've like prayed or I am praying, like, and let's say I'm like completely alone, which is usually when I get uncomfortable at nighttime, like I think like if I have prayed, I just don't feel scared because it's like I know I believe in like a higher power. I believe that everything happens for a reason. So I don't like feel as terrified because I feel like I have like God with me kind of thing.
here at UC Davis. I have my longboard, so I feel like having my board because it can go like relatively quick. I don't really mind being alone as much. Um, I think it's actually kind of a vibe to like skate around at night. I definitely don't mind being in a group, and I know that if I'm walking around, it's really reassuring. Not like it, not even just being in a group, but just seeing other people out and about. I think is really comforting.
I remember going out for a night walk with my roommate because she wasn't feeling okay. So I decided to um, ask her if she wanted to go on a walk with me. And so I did. And we walked all the way to Git Hall and we sat on a bench outside and we just talked about things. And it was really good for the both of us.
I remember like when I first got my car and like I first got to Davis, me and my friends would just um like go and eat together like at nighttime. Like we would go to Taco Bell or we'd go to McDonald's. And like I think that like experience is like very like memorable for me just because it's like I think that as students sometimes our lives are like super busy and sometimes the only time we can hang out is like either when we're studying at night and then afterwards kind of like a way to like de-stress. Like we'll like go hang out, we'll do like something crazy, like we'll go on like late night drives and then we'll go like get food. Like it's just like really fun and like hanging out with your friends like at that time because that's when you create like the best memories.
So usually at night is when I focus the most. So the activity that I most do is like studying with my friends most of the time. But we also like to go like some night walks around the arboretum and in the dorms, or go to eat somewhere in downtown, which is.
I think the nighttime can be like a pretty effective time to study or do focused work, especially because there's probably fewer distractions. And I think while there might be a perception that staying up late at night is inefficient or ineffective, I don't view that to be the case. I don't really have any like reservations or concerns being out about at night. I think it's sometimes like nice to just there not be too many people and everything to be calm.
A week or two ago, I was up on a weekend night at till 5:30 a.m. trying to finish one of my essays for my classworks, and it makes me think about how it's very hard to be a student because you're up at night, you're trying to get your coursework done, and as well as maintain a social life and keep healthy balance of sleep and eating and staying hydrated.
Well, my relationship with the nighttime would be, it's like time. It's a time to reveal a different version of me, from the daytime, because during the day I feel like I have more energy and more inclined to like. I guess I have like classes too, so I don't have that much time to like think about myself and stuff. But at nighttime, I feel like I'm alone and I can focus more on me, self-reflect. So I feel like there's like two different versions of me, nighttime and daytime.
I'd be like, this is terrifying. Like, and I think it's because like a lot of my life, I never realized how many people I was constantly surrounded by. But I think that now, like as I've like gone through like the last couple of years within college, I think that I've realized like, kind of with there's like beauty in like being alone, if that makes sense. Like I think that realizing that like having the ability to like be comfortable with like being alone in your own space by yourself and your own thoughts, I think that's very powerful because you are kind of just like able to accept yourself in a sense. Like you're able to accept like who you are, like you're able to accept like all the good, the bad, everything.
It's mostly about just how it makes me feel. I don't know if it's like it's subjective experience of mine based on what I've gone through in my life, but just it being dark out, just it's I guess it makes me more creative. It's hard to explain, but it's just you can do more and there's less people in your way, less like noise, I guess would be the way to say it.
And I guess just walking around at nighttime does kind of increase your like other senses, such as like your auditory senses, what you look at, because like everything's pitch dark, but like if there's like a small source of light, you can kind of like focus on that. And like if you hear a small sound, just walking alone at night, it's like amplified.
At night.
At night.
At night.
Some nights.
Nighttime.
At night.
Nighttime.
At night.
At night. At night.
Of the night.
At night.
At night.
In the night.